Why does she ignore you? Even when you're doing everything right, you text her, you show interest, you try to be funny, maybe even a little bold, and still nothing. Cold replies, delayed responses, that feeling like you're trying too hard for someone who barely notices. You've been there, standing in front of her trying to say the right thing, overthinking every word, watching her smile at someone else, effortlessly, while you feel invisible. And here's the worst part. You start thinking something is wrong with you. Like maybe you're not attractive enough, not confident enough, not interesting enough. I get it. But listen carefully. This was never your fault. Nobody taught you this. I'm here. And this is Her Emotional Secrets, where we uncover the real psychology that creates desire. What you're dealing with isn't rejection. It's misalignment, a sequencing problem, not a value problem. Because attraction doesn't work the way you think it does. It's not logical, it's not fair, and it's definitely not based on how nice you are. It's emotional, subconscious, instant. She's not sitting there analyzing your traits like a checklist. She's feeling you. And if the feeling isn't triggered, nothing else matters. That's the part nobody tells you. You've been trying to convince her, but attraction isn't convinced. It's activated. And once you understand the hidden triggers behind that activation, everything changes. You stop chasing. You stop guessing. You become the man she starts trying to figure out, because her brain is constantly scanning for signals. Not words, not logic, signals. Ancient patterns, evolutionary shortcuts, emotional cues, things like strength, mystery, presence, emotional tension. And when those signals show up in the right sequence, her interest flips fast, even if she wasn't interested before. So let's break it down. 7 psychological triggers, not tricks. Tools. Use them with intention. Because once you understand this, you're not the same guy anymore. The first trigger is masculine presence. This is where most men get it wrong. They think it's about looks, style, height. It's not. It's about energy. Grounded, calm, unreactive. You walk into a room and you're not scanning for approval. You're not trying to impress. You're just there, solid. She feels that. Imagine you're talking to her. She teases you. Maybe throws a small test your way. Most guys react. They try to win her over. They explain themselves. You don't. You smile, slow, controlled. And you say, "You always test people this fast?" No tension in your voice. No neediness. That's presence. It tells her, you're not easily shaken. And here's the line. Stillness creates attraction. The second trigger is emotional challenge. Attraction needs polarity. If everything is easy, predictable, agreeable, there's no spark. She doesn't want resistance. She wants playful tension. You're not there to agree with everything she says. You're there to create a dynamic. Let's say she says, "You're probably like every other guy." Instead of defending yourself, you lean in slightly and say, "That would make your life easier, wouldn't it?" Now there's a shift. You didn't chase. You didn't submit. You created a moment, a challenge. Her brain wakes up because now she's curious. And curiosity builds attraction. Here's the line. Tension creates desire. The third trigger is selective attention. This one is powerful because attention is currency, and most men give it away for free. Instant replies, constant validation, always available. That kills attraction. Not because attention is bad, but because unlimited access removes value. You need a life, a real one, purpose, friends, movement. So when you give her attention, it feels intentional. Let's say she texts you. You don't ignore her, but you don't drop everything either. You respond when it fits your world. And when you do, you're present, focused, not scattered. She feels the difference. Because now your attention isn't cheap, it's chosen. If this is making sense so far, hit subscribe and join her Emotional Secrets community. It helps more men learn what they were never taught. Here's the line. Scarcity builds value. The fourth trigger is intentional listening. Most men hear words, few men hear emotions. She's not just talking, she's revealing patterns, small details, preferences, emotional cues. And when you notice them and bring them back later, it hits deep. Imagine she casually mentions she loves quiet places. A few days later, you say, "You don't seem like someone who enjoys loud crowds." She pauses. Because you saw her, not just heard her. That creates connection. Real connection, not surface level talk. Because now she feels understood. And that's rare. Here's the line. Being seen creates attachment. The fifth trigger is calibrated vulnerability. This is where balance matters. Too closed, and you feel distant. Too open, and you feel weak. The key is controlled openness. You share something real, but you don't collapse into it. You own it. For example, you say, "I used to overthink everything. Took me a while to fix that." Simple, honest, grounded. You didn't ask for sympathy. You showed growth. That signals strength. Because real confidence isn't pretending you're perfect. It's being comfortable with your past and still standing strong. Here's the line. Honest strength builds trust. The sixth trigger is gradual physical touch. This one must be done right. Respectful, light, natural, not forced, not rushed. Because touch releases oxytocin. It builds comfort, connection, but only when it feels safe. Let's say you're laughing together. You lightly touch her arm for a second. Then you pull back. No lingering, no pressure. You let the moment breathe. Later, maybe you guide her slightly through a doorway. Again, subtle. You're not asking, you're leading. And she feels it because it's not about the touch itself, it's about the message. You're comfortable in your body. And now she can be too. Here's the line. Comfortable touch builds closeness. And now the final one. This is the one almost no one uses correctly. Controlled unpredictability. This is where dopamine kicks in. Because the brain loves patterns, but it craves variation. If you're always the same tone, same timing, same reactions, she gets used to you. And once she predicts you, attraction drops. You don't become chaotic. You become slightly unpredictable. In a controlled way, some days you're playful, some days you're more reserved. Sometimes you end the conversation first. Sometimes you let it flow longer. You change the rhythm. Just enough, so she can't fully map you out. Let's say she expects you to respond in a certain way. You surprise her. Not dramatically, just enough to break the pattern. Now her brain leans in, because uncertainty creates excitement. And excitement fuels attraction. Here's the line. Mystery keeps her engaged. Now step back for a second. Look at what just happened. You didn't change who you are. You changed how you show up. You shifted your energy, your timing, your awareness. These are not tricks. They're signals. And when you send the right signals consistently, everything shifts. Because now she's not evaluating you logically. She's feeling something different, something she can't easily explain. And that's where attraction lives. Not in words, in emotions. So you don't need to be perfect. You don't need the best lines. You don't need to chase harder. You need strategy. You need awareness. You need control over your presence. Because the man who understands this moves differently, speaks differently, feels different. And women notice without him trying. That's the shift. From chasing to being chosen. from confusion to clarity, from reaction to control. So the next time you see her, don't think about impressing her. Think about how you show up, your energy, your pace, your intention. Because that's what she's reading, not your words, your signals. And when those signals align, attraction becomes natural, effortless, almost automatic. You don't force it, you allow it. And that's power, quiet power, the kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that creates it. So remember this, you were never lacking, you were just untaught. Now you know, and once you know, you can't go back. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women genuinely desire, subscribe to the Her Emotional Secrets now. Turn on notifications because the next one will shift your reality again.